Hello and welcome back to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's dive straight into today's headlines. WTO members held first formal meeting on dispute settlement reform. TRISHNA ISRO has announced Indo-French thermal imaging mission. Two bird sanctuaries of Bihar has been added to Ramsar list. UNESCO released State of the Ocean Report 2024. India attends Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity Ministerial Meeting. UNICEF released Child Nutrition Report 2024. Starting with the first news. In recent developments in the World Trade Organization, WTO members have held their first formal meeting at the heads of delegation level, focusing on much-needed reforms in dispute settlement. To begin with, this meeting marks a significant step towards addressing the long-standing issues within the WTO's dispute settlement system, specifically the appeal and review processes. Now, why are these reforms necessary? Since August 2017, the United States has opposed the launch of selection processes to fill vacancies on the appellate body. The US has insisted that its systematic concerns regarding the WTO's dispute settlement system must be addressed first. This stance has effectively denied WTO members their legal right to a binding two-stage dispute settlement process, which is a fundamental pillar of the WTO system. To give you a better understanding, let's delve into the WTO dispute settlement process. The Dispute Settlement Body, or DSB, is responsible for settling disputes. This General Council consists of all the WTO members. It has the sole authority to establish panels of experts to consider cases and to accept or reject panels' findings or the results of an appeal. The DSB also monitors the implementation of rulings and recommendations, and it has the power to authorize retaliation when a country does not comply with a ruling. Furthermore, either side in a dispute can appeal a panel's ruling before the appellate body. The dispute settlement body must then accept or reject the appeal's report within 30 days, and rejection is only possible by consensus. Now let's talk about the WTO appellate body itself. Established in 1995 under Article 17 of the Understanding on Rules and Procedures Governing the Settlement of Disputes, it is a standing body composed of 7 members. Each appeal is heard by 3 members of the appellate body. However, here lies the current challenge. The appellate body is unable to review appeals as it currently has no members. The term of the last sitting member expired on November 30, 2020, leaving the body inoperative. In conclusion, the recent meeting of the WTO members of the heads of delegation level on dispute settlement reform is a critical step towards resolving these issues and restoring the functionality of the WTO's dispute resolution mechanism.
Ahead in the news, let's dive into a groundbreaking announcement from ISRO. They have revealed an exciting new collaborative mission with the French space agency CNES called TRISHNA, which stands for Thermal Infrared Imaging Satellite for High-Resolution Natural Resource Assessment. This mission aims to revolutionize our understanding of surface temperature and water management on a regional to global scale. Let's take a closer look at the TRISHNA mission. The primary objective is to conduct detailed monitoring of energy and water budgets within the continental biosphere. This includes quantifying terrestrial water stress and water use, as well as providing high-resolution observations of water quality and dynamics. Additionally, TRISHNA will aid in comprehensively assessing urban heat islands and detecting thermal anomalies linked to volcanic activity and geothermal resources. Now let's talk about the payloads. TRISHNA is equipped with 2 primary payloads. The first is a thermal infrared payload provided by CNES, featuring a 4-channel long-wave infrared imaging sensor. The second is the visible near-infrared short-wave infrared payload developed by ISRO, which includes 7 spectral bands designed for detailed mapping of surface reflectance. TRISHNA will operate in a sun-synchronous orbit, also known as SSO. This type of polar orbit ensures that the satellite is always in the same position relative to the Sun, which is crucial for consistent data collection. The mission is designed for a 5-year operational life. The significance of the TRISHNA mission cannot be overstated. It will play a critical role in climate monitoring, tracking phenomena such as droughts, permafrost changes, and evapotranspiration rates. Additionally, it will aid in better urban planning by providing detailed maps of urban heat islands and heat alerts. Moving on to India's broader international space cooperation, the India-France partnership is particularly noteworthy. This collaboration includes strategic space dialogues, a signed letter of intent on defense space cooperation, and various space exchanges and defense space industrial cooperation initiatives. India also has a significant collaboration with other countries. For instance, with the United States, there is a bilateral space situational awareness arrangement established in the year 2022, and the NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar mission. Additionally, there's the Lunar Polar Exploration mission with Japan and the South Asia satellite, which aims to boost communication and improve disaster links among India's 6 neighboring countries. As we continue to push the boundaries of space exploration, partnerships like these will be crucial in tackling the pressing issue of our time, from climate change to urban planning.
Moving ahead in the news. In an exciting news for nature lovers and conservationists, 2 bird sanctuaries in Bihar have been added to the prestigious Ramsar list. Let's dive into the details. The Nagi and Nakti bird sanctuaries, both located in Bihar's Jamui district, have gained international recognition under the Ramsar Convention. This addition brings the total number of Ramsar sites in India to 82. Both sanctuaries are man-made reservoirs, Nagi Dam and Nakti Dam, and are surrounded by dry deciduous forests and hills. While Nagi lies in the Gangetic Plains, its landscape is reminiscent of the Deccan Plateau. These sanctuaries are not only recognized under the Ramsar Convention, but also designated as important bird and biodiversity areas by BirdLife International. They serve as a crucial habitats for various species of birds. Migratory birds such as bar-headed goose, grey-lag goose, northern pintail, red-crested pochard, and steep eagle find a seasonal home here. Meanwhile, resident birds like the Indian robin, ashy-crowned sparrowlark, Asian quail, Asian pied starling, and bank manna thrive in these habitats year-round. Now let's understand the significance of the Ramsar Convention. It's an intergovernmental treaty focused on the conservation and wise use of wetlands and their resources. Adopted in Ramsar, Iran in 1971, it came into force in 1975, with India becoming a party in 1982. Interestingly, Tamil Nadu has the maximum number of Ramsar sites in India, followed by Uttar Pradesh. List of wetlands of international importance, or the Ramsar list, contains wetlands which hold significant value for humanity as a whole. Wetlands included in Ramsar list must meet at least one of the 9 criteria defined under the convention, such as supporting vulnerable or endangered species or threatened ecological communities. Contracting parties are expected to manage their Ramsar sites to maintain their ecological character. It's important to mention the Montreux record, which lists Ramsar sites where changes in ecological character have occurred or are likely to occur due to technological developments, pollution, or other human interference. In India, Loktak and Evladev National Park are included in this record. The recognition of Nagi and Nakti bird sanctuaries is a significant step in preserving biodiversity and promoting the conservation of these vital ecosystems.
Moving on to the next news. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization has released its highly anticipated State of the Ocean Report 2024. Structured around the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development 2021 to 2030, this report provides invaluable insights into ocean-related scientific activities and describes the current and future state of the ocean. The report reveals alarming findings, painting a grave picture of the challenges facing our oceans. The ocean is now warming at twice the rate it was 20 years ago, with ocean temperatures increasing by an average of 1.45 degrees Celsius. Hotspots above 2 degrees Celsius have been observed in the Mediterranean, tropical Atlantic Ocean and southern oceans. Sea levels are rising at an alarming rate, predominantly due to accelerated ice mass loss from the Greenland and West Antarctica ice sheets, and to a lesser degree from accelerated ocean warming. The report also highlights the dire consequences of ocean acidification, as the ocean absorbs around 25% of annual anthropogenic carbon dioxide emissions. This process reduces seawater pH, leading to ocean acidification, which is projected to increase by more than 100% by the end of the century. Additionally, the report addresses the issue of deoxygenation, where the ocean's oxygen content is decreasing, resulting in worsening hypoxia, that is, low oxygen levels. Furthermore, the report emphasizes the importance of coastal blue carbon ecosystems such as mangroves, seagrasses, and tidal marshes, which provide refuge against a warmer, more acidic ocean and are an important store of carbon. However, their protection is not guaranteed, and these ecosystems have suffered a staggering 20 to 35% loss since 1970. To address these critical issues, UNESCO proposes several key recommendations. The report calls for the implementation of marine spatial planning strategies to help reduce the pressures on marine ecosystems. It also emphasizes the need for a greater global effort to increase knowledge of the seaflow, as 75% of the ocean floor remains unmapped. Recognizing the invaluable knowledge and perspectives of indigenous people, the report calls for better engagement with these communities in marine policy and planning to transition towards the ocean we need for the future we want. Additionally, the report stresses the importance of fostering global ocean literacy by promoting universal appreciation and cherishing of the ocean's vital role in sustaining life on our planet. As the report highlights, the consequences of inaction are severe and far-reaching, impacting not only marine ecosystems but also the well-being of human societies that rely on the ocean's resources and services.
Ahead in the news, we turn our focus to the Indo-Pacific region, where India recently attended the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity, or IPEF ministerial meeting. This gathering marked significant progress as IPEF members signed multiple agreements aimed at addressing the 21st century challenges and enhancing economic engagement across the Indo-Pacific. To start with, let's delve into the key outcomes of this meeting. One of the highlights was the IPEF Clean Economy Agreement. This agreement aims to accelerate the efforts of IPEF partners towards energy security and transition, climate resilience and adaptation, and greenhouse gas emissions mitigation. Moving on, another crucial outcome was the IPEF Fair Economy Agreement. This agreement is designed to create a more transparent and predictable business environment within the member countries, fostering better economic practices. Additionally, the meeting announced 3 new cooperative work programs, or CWPs. These include emissions intensity accounting, e-waste urban mining, an initiative led by India, and small modular reactors. Another major development was the operational launch of the IPEF Catalytic Capital Fund. This fund is set to support the expansion of quality clean economy infrastructure projects, providing a financial boost to the ongoing efforts in this sector. It's important to note that these agreements will come into force once at least 5 IPEF partners complete their internal legal procedures for ratification, acceptance, or approval. As of now, India has not formally signed these agreements, as domestic approval processes are still underway and will be completed after the formation of the new government. Now for a bit of background on IPEF itself. Launched in 2022 by 14 countries, including India, the USA and Australia, IPEF aims to strengthen economic engagement among partner countries to advance growth, peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region. The framework is structured around 4 pillars: trade, which is Pillar 1, supply chains, Pillar 2, clean economy, Pillar 3, and fair economy, Pillar 4. India has joined Pillars 2 to 4 of IPEF while maintaining an observer status in Pillar 1. In conclusion, the IPEF ministerial meeting has paved the way for significant advancements in economic collaboration and environmental sustainability across the Indo-Pacific region.
In our next news, the alarming findings of UNICEF's Child Nutrition Report 2024 have brought to light the severe global crisis of child food poverty. Defined as children's inability to access and consume a nutritious and diverse diet during the critical first 5 years of life, CFP poses a significant threat to the physical and cognitive development of millions of young children worldwide. The report reveals that a staggering 27% of children globally live in conditions of severe CFP, with India bearing a disproportionate burden, ranking second highest in South Asia after Afghanistan, with 40% of its children affected from the same. The report highlights the concerning trend of unhealthy foods becoming increasingly entrenched in children's diets, replacing the nutrient-rich foods. Alarmingly, severe CFP affects children across both poor and non-poor households, indicating that income alone is not the sole driving factor behind this crisis. The report identifies a multitude of causes contributing to the escalating issue of severe CFP, including growing inequities, conflict and climate crisis, rising food prices, the overabundance of unhealthy foods, harmful food marketing strategies, and poor child feeding practices. In response to these alarming findings, UNICEF has put forth a set of recommendations to combat severe CFP. Strengthening data collection and analysis systems to accurately assess the severity of CFP. Transforming food systems to make nutritious foods more accessible, affordable, and desirable for feeding young children. Additionally, leveraging existing healthcare infrastructure to deliver essential nutrition services, including counseling on appropriate child feeding practices. In India, initiatives such as Saksham Anganwadi and Poshan 2.0 have been launched to address maternal nutrition, promote infant and young child feeding norms, and combat malnutrition. The introduction of millets in the midday meal scheme, renamed as PM Poshan scheme, aims to improve the nutritional value of school meals. To measure CFP, UNICEF has set a benchmark that is to meet the minimum dietary diversity for healthy growth and development. Children need to consume foods from at least 5 out of 8 defined groups. The Child Nutrition Report 2024 serves as a wake-up call for governments, policymakers, and communities worldwide to prioritize the fight against severe CFP. The place in news for today is Slovenia with its capital Ljubljana. It is in news as Slovenia has become the latest European country to recognize a Palestinian state. If we talk about its political features, then it is a country situated in Central Europe. It shares its land boundaries with Austria to its north, Hungary to its far northeast, Croatia to its east, southeast, and south, and Italy to its west and southwest. Moreover, it has an important coastline along the Gulf of Venice at the northern arm of Adriatic Sea. Talking about its geographical features, it is located outside the coastal area and its terrain consists largely of karstic plateaus and ridges, magnificently precipitous alpine peaks. Other than that, 2/5 of the Slovenia is covered by the Alpine region. Moreover, its major rivers includes the Sava, that is a tributary of the Danube, and lastly, its highest point is the Mount Triglav.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. Delhi High Court has observed that Chief Information Commissioner has no jurisdiction to comment upon utilization of funds by members of Parliament under MP Lad scheme. If we talk about applicability of RTI on MP Lad scheme, then any citizen can seek information on any aspect of the scheme and work recommended by MPs sanctioned or executed under it. India, South Korea, the US, Japan, and European Union launched Biopharmaceutical Alliance in response to the drug supply shortages experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic. It will build a reliable, sustainable, and resilient supply chain in pharmaceuticals as production of essential raw materials and ingredients is concentrated in a few countries. Now, the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs will electronically disperse duty drawback amounts directly to exporters' bank accounts using the Public Finance Management System. CCI plans to open depots in Coimbatore. CCI was established as a PSU under the Companies Act 1956 in 1970. It is under the administrative control of the Ministry of Textiles and its headquarters is in Navi Mumbai. Researchers and artists have joined the Paint with Light initiative as a part of the Air of the Anthropocene project. This project was created by the artist Robin Price and an environmental scientist at the University of Birmingham to document air pollution levels around the world through photography. Studies conducted by the Cassini-Huygens mission challenged Milgromain dynamic theory. Cassini is a joint endeavor of NASA, European Space Agency, and the Italian Space Agency to study Saturn and its complex system of rings and moons. Delegation of the Royal Navy of Oman visited IFC IOR Gurugram. Information Fusion Center for Indian Ocean Region, hosted by the Indian Navy, established in 2018 within the Information Management and Analysis Center. The United Nations General Assembly elected Denmark, Greece, Pakistan, Panama, and Somalia to the UNSC. Each year, UNGA elects 5 non-permanent members of UNSC for a 2-year term through a secret ballot. Before we wrap up today's bulletin, it's time to put your knowledge to test in today's segment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this edition of News Today. For the solutions to today's quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description below.